Hey, my name is Benedick Howard, and a happy new year to you. This is the eBodyFUSION monthly hangout for January the 2nd, 2016. Yeah, I got the date right, despite using my cell phone at the beach yesterday. Oh, what a calamity that puts you in. And yeah, so I just got a really cool presentation to do with you guys today. And boy, I hope you had a fantastic New Year's and Christmas. And let's make 2016 the year for all of us to get really, really healthy. And in this hangout, I'm going to tell you how I do it as a wellness coach, how I do that. And wait, let me see if I can get okay. And that way we can get the get you really healthy, get your life back, get you off the medical treadmill with this amazing technology from Russia that I'm going to be detailing with you. Also, so let's go to the presentation here and get some color on the screen other than my face and see if I can get all that to work. Be the first of the year. And yeah, here we go. We're going to share this first one. So, let me just make sure that it is coming through. Looks like it is. That's excellent. And yeah, so actually this was a Christmas Day shot. I live on the Big Island in Hawaii, and I went really early up across Saddle Road. We're up at around, I don't know, 7,000 feet, something like this. And the sun was just coming up. It was an extraordinarily beautiful day. And I got a number of these really cool shots, but I thought, this is how life is. It's this journey that we take, and we're on this road and we're traveling along, and things get caught up, and or not. And so I thought, what a wonderful picture to use and to share with you from actually this mound that's got some trees on it, and actually a lot of koa. I have a couple of koa ukuleles that I play. Beautiful wood, and so in order to do this, let me show you the next slide. I'm going to share with you the 7 healing secrets of electricity, actually microcurrent electricity. And because it has this ability of really working really, really well with the body to attain absolutely astounding results. And when you use electricity with consciously, well, competently and confidently, which is how I train my folks, and if you come into the coaching program, I really support you in other spheres of that as well. And the reason why it works so well, well, stay to the end of this presentation, because I'm going to be talking more about the pain reduction capacity of microcurrent devices. These microcurrent devices, let me just quickly show you one. This is a pretty elaborate one. This one is called the Vertebra, and we'll be talking about that a little bit more. There's other ones like this one, which is the DENAS, and those are the attachments that come with it. But first off, let's get into this stuff. Now, a little bit of history here. In the 1980s, the Russians did clinical trials on these microcurrent devices on 18,255 people, and they achieved an average cure rate across all of the disease groups of 88.50%, which is absolutely blows you away that they were able to do this simply with AA batteries. And so obviously there were a lot of very happy people, and that's my joy, bringing this sort of happiness to people in pain and a whole bunch of other stuff, which I'll share with you ongoingly. What I'm going to do with the series, the 7 healing secrets of electricity, I'm going to be over the next 7 months revealing the 7 secrets, and this month we're going to be doing the pain reduction aspect of it. But I wanted to give you some background of the results that people have been getting now for what is it? It's a long time. So this is mid-80s, mid-90s, so over 30 years, and yet nobody has heard about it. And the reason, because it would totally screw up every medical system on the planet, and literally. This stuff is so effective that it just blows you away. And I'm going to share with you just a little subgroup, well, one of the subgroups, which was the group in the musculoskeletal diseases of the trauma of the musculoskeletal system. And so here we have arthritis type stuff. We had 1,238 clients coming in, or they did, with 753 complete cure. or an average cure rate of 60.82. Now, a whole bunch of significant improvement and moderate improvement and slight improvement in there too. But the improvement rates were 97.58. Now, quite frankly, the way that we have learned to do this over the, I've been working with this for 14 years now. This is my 14th year of working with these devices. And so I'm considered an expert in this field, especially with like major stuff going on. Arthritis, I don't consider that major. It is relatively easy to do, but it's got to be combined with other things, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. But yeah, there's a lot of compromises in our society, in our food stuff, in our water stuff that wasn't there in the 80s, right? It was a lot healthier. In the deformations of the spine, the dorsopathies, we had 2,352 people and an 87.07 cure rate. Now, you've got to remember, this is people who have like deformation, so they're like stenosis and stenosis and scoliosis. Those are the sort of things that we're talking about changing here. And the pinched nerve stuff, 1,820, how painful that can be. They had a 91.76 cure rate on all of that. So if you've got a pinched nerve in your lower back, and we've done this frequently with clients. Billy, if you look at the front page of eBodyFUSION.com, my website, you'll find his testimony, MRI proven, tons of x-rays that have gone on in the past. This is nothing new. What is new is how we apply it, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But basically, my background before coming into all of this was I was a development engineer for General Electric, and I was designing and making new products all the time. So ligament strain, 108 folks, 100% improvement. And let me just say, that could be a ligament tear. That could be more than just a strain. That could be literally a ripped ligament. And in 12 days, you're looking at, once you get onto it fresh, you're looking at getting it. So, a lot of this stuff, if it's fresh injuries, is very, very quick. Superficial injuries with soft tissues, yeah, got to be 100%, I was going to say. Unknown pain, soft tissues and bones. That sort of can be phantom pain from limbs or stuff going on in there. And that is also just really, curable. Now, I have to say this, the Russians got these cure rates. And so let me just qualify that. This is not something that any of the Western medicines really want to talk about, simply because it is so effective and it needs to be investigated much more. And the other thing, of course, being so effective, it's really dirt cheap to do, and you can do it in the comfort of your own home and really get off this medical hamster wheel bullshit that we're basically all on through the indoctrination over the ages. And now, if you go to my site, eBodyFUSION.com, you can find the complete breakdown of all of these subgroups. So there's heart, there's lungs, there's reproductive, there's all of these different subgroups have been broken down to on the website there. So I just pulled this one page or one batch of statistics for you to look at, so that you can investigate it further in your own time and see how it could work for you. Also, I have on the site there, I have links to a free assessment where I ask you a series of questions on a scale of 1 to 10, what's going on. And that way you can, I can get a good glimpse into what's going on and give you some really good expert advice as to how you're going to move forward with this. Now, getting back to the theme of 2016, the year to get really, really healthy. Obviously doing this sort of stuff and getting these results with this type of technology, or these guys, these are handhelds, this middle one is handheld, and these other accessories plug into it. To get those sort of results in a compromised world where we're sitting right now, it's going to take quite a bit of work, and especially with your diet and exercise. We'll get to that in a moment. But, it's like good foods, non-GMO, alkalizing foods, that's the green stuff. Sorry, you guys. It needs to be organic, and it also needs to be unprocessed. Because all of the processed flours, all of the processed foods, all of the foods that you get, like they're junk. and they're literally poisoned. And it's kind of difficult to find really good stuff. You can get it from your local growers, but then you don't really know the chemtrails, what damage they've done, but it's a thing that you can do. What I did forget to put in here was there are substances, you know, for instance, if you've got heavy metals in the body, there are quite easy ways of getting those heavy metals out of the body. They're just like supplements. And I meant to put a slide in here simply because it kind of ties in with this juicing thing. When you juice fruits, or you juice veggies rather, or fruits, whatever, when you juice them, you're breaking down the fibers, and that really destroys the ability of those fibers to pick up the toxins, which actually, when they are excreted, they stick between the toxins, the heavy metals and stuff, stick between the fibers and they get excreted. But in the juicing process, what happens is that those fibers are too small to do a good job. So what can you do? Well, you can have a masticating juicer, which is the way to go. However, they're kind of expensive. The other way to go is, of course, is to use supplements that have that long fibered stuff in it. And you just take half a teaspoon of that a day and mix it in with or teaspoon of that a day and mix it in with the juice, and you're away to go. Now, obviously, if you've got this good food coming into the body, a lot of stuff is going to change. I mean, just by going, say, green, a green diet, a live diet, you're going to detox. You're going to a lot of stuff is going to happen, and just that alone can really reinforce and speed up the time that it's going to take for you to get well using these microcurrent biofeedback devices. This is one that you lie on, and it does the whole spine and the back there. It's called the vertebra. And so that's a good example of that. But now, in conjunction with these devices, when you use these electrical stim devices, your energy levels very, very quickly increase, simply because electricity does that. It turns on the light bulbs in your body. And also it turns on a whole wide range of different substances as well. So stay tuned to the end, because I've got some more details on all of this. And also, if you look, after I've got this posted, up in the top right of the video, there's a little I and a letter I, and there's more information. I've got links back to my website to deal with, or to link you back to topics that I'm discussing in these Hangouts. And there've been, last year we did many of these Hangouts, and there's a wonderful catalog of information. Now, also, just a heads up, below, once this video is posted on YouTube and it's all finalized and I've got it all, got all the cards put up and everything else, and the annotations too. Underneath it, what I do is I listen to this video again, and I make timestamps of where I talk about different topics. So if you go to the About section on the video on YouTube, you will find how you can link directly into those timestamps. And so if you just want to research, say, about the juicing, for instance, that would be the way to do it. So heads up on that. Now, of course, the other component is all the different forms of exercise. And there are so many of this which we can do. I personally love running, and I do a lot of yoga. So those are my two main things. It's not really, the yoga doesn't give me much upper body strength, and this year I'm committed to dealing with that and to working on that. But if you've got this combination of, exercise, an hour or more a day, especially if you're sitting. Sitting is, it's a killer to the body. It's a killer to the back. It's everything. You put on, women put on weight. It's like, our society, our bodies are meant to move, guys. And sadly, often it's impossible for you to move around after you get into a chronic situation. However, if you look at these figures here, and if you combine it with a device like this, and my coaching that comes with it, you are going to succeed with the most horrific problems in your back, degenerative discs, all of that. We can rebuild those in situ, non-invasively, by releasing the bodies on pharmacy. And I talk about that in the other videos, in the other Hangouts too. So what does this all do? It basically gets you off this medical hamster wheel, screwing up your time and your dollars. And all of that, of course, is going to take a huge shift in your outlook especially relating to disease. And Mike Adams from Natural News, he has a wonderful book, and if you like, and well, I'll link it in there so you can get this. And I highly recommend that you read this, because it's like all of this quackery that's gone on with doctors and the AMA and the FDA and all of the bullshit, you know, they're putting through these vaccines now that have no clinical trials, that are proven to do damage to in kids. It's just horrific. But it doesn't stop there. It goes so deep. And in Mike Adams' book, which is no short book, I have it in PDF form, so I can send it to you. It's really a good example of how, you know, to create perfect health by freeing yourself of the false beliefs about disease. Now, take cancer. You know, there's over 500 cures for cancer, and yet nobody really wants to talk about it. Okay, now, of course, cannabis oil has become really popularized in the last few years because of its amazing curative properties, not only of cancers, but other diseases too. And so, you know, just be aware that all of this chemotherapy bullshit is just totally killing everybody that goes into it. You know, I don't know what to say about it. It's like, what can you say to people that are so indoctrinated that they go into hospital, they have one operation after another, and after you've had an operation or two, you get over the operation, but these guys are slicing you up. This is the highest of, in my opinion, and most people's opinion, if you really think about it, it's the highest form of evil on the planet, right? It's this medical stuff that's going on. So how can we work with that? You know, basically, it's all around, you know, coming to a point in your life, like the crossroads there, and motivating yourself to move beyond that place. You know, so you're understanding now that, you know, you need the green drinks, you need the exercise, you need to get off the medical treadmill. That this technology will greatly assist you in that process. However, unless you're motivated to do it, unless, you know, I can incentivize you enough through these talks to really help you grasp the bigger potential, not only on your life, but also on your family and friends too, to get beyond it. Now, when you're doing the assessments, a lot of people, their motivation levels on a scale of 1 to 10 is, you know, fairly low, simply because they've had what they've got going for a long time. Now, what's so really cool about that is that the electricity that you get from having these electrodes, in this case going up into your back, the electricity really quickly increases the energy, and so it helps your motivation. It helps you to get up going. It helps you to get out of bed in the morning. It helps you to keep focused. But like any habit, like any, you know, it's like 2016, here we are, right at the fresh start of the year. And, you know, the one thing that happens that is like makes things work long-term, short-term, long-term, is the repetition. Like this hang glider here, I don't know if you can see it, but not a hang glider. Whoops. Where are we going? Right. This guy here, I can blow this up, but I don't think I can on this screen. He is actually jumping out of the water here. He's suspended and jumping out of the water here. And he didn't get to that place of expertise doing this work without a lot of repetition, a lot of crashes. And it's the same with the body. When the body's getting better, there are these times when you will go through a healing crisis. And most people say, oh, I feel so sick, it feels like worse than anything I know, I want to pop another pill. Don't, because what's happening is that with this type of technology, with the electricity going into the body, and I'm going to tell you more about that in the 7 healing secrets ongoingly over the next 7 months. We'll get to the pain aspect of it in a moment. But you know, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. You don't want to ease off, because you can literally, like I showed you up in here, you'll literally get these kind of results. Now, everybody's different, And I'm not a doctor, so I'm not a medical professional, thank God for you, that I'm not. And because I have a way of looking at things which are out of the indoctrinated medical model. No, not all doctors are evil, but there are so many people doing. I mean, it's just, you know, the horror stories that's going on in there. So, you know, just by repetition and keeping going and moving forward step by step. Sometimes it's baby steps, and then doing it in cyclic nature as well. Like this is a photograph of the setting moon on Christmas Day behind Mauna Kea, the observatories up there on the top. So this is like that full moon was going down, I don't know, 6:30, 6-ish in the morning, whatever it was. And that day that I went up there and took this shot actually as the sun was coming up a little later. But, you know, do these on a cycle. Keep it on a cyclic thing. Keep it on a day cycle so that you have your day work, that you're going to be juicing yourself up, you're going to be doing your exercise, and you're going to be applying these devices for about an hour a day. And that's going to lead towards success. This is in the middle there is my friend Kim. He's one of my oldest friends on the islands here. And we met, I don't know, shortly after I got back to the islands in 2003, I think it was. And we've been steadfast friends ever since. And, you know, we've had ins and outs because I have a pretty outlook. My outlook on medicine and politics is pretty challenging for most people. But Kim had a vision. And this is what and he became motivated to this vision. He had a 20-acre lot that he has, and he wanted to build a golf course. And over the years, he's been putting together the equipment, and every Sunday now we get to play golf together. And that's my partner, Lindy, there. But it's been like, you know, he was motivated. He kept on working at it. Dear man, I mean, you know how much work it can be to, especially on the rock that we have on this island. There's not that much dirt. And, you know, he did it in a cyclical way, and he got the success. And so will you in your work too. Actually, let me share right now. I have so many testimonials, and a lot of them are up on the site for you to watch. But I wanted to give you a couple of testimonials from folks, a couple of ladies that have been in the training with me, and they're a little long, I know, and I just put them together here. But in my full 3-month professional training that I have, the Ninja 2 is the 2nd month, and it's a technique for neck pain. And you know, Julie Roberts here, you know, she's been practicing on her family, and she's been getting really, really good at this. And so her primary goal is to keep the spine in alignment and keep the inflammation in the spinal cord down. And she's been really effective in that. Now, in this process, in this journey, Lynn kind of like summarizes it here. You know, I started working with an essay of thoughts on how living with chronic pain was affecting my life, and reread it a few days ago, and declared how far I had come. You know, because basically what we do in the trainings is that we really want to keep track of, and we'll go back to the slide in a moment, you know, keep you motivated, keep you repeating, and on a cyclic nature, and that's going to lead you to success. Now, when you come in and you're going like, oh my God, I got all these aches and pains, and then down the road after you've, you know, repeated it a lot, you've gone to the successful place, this is what you forget. I mean, this is what you get. And part of it is you forget how life was when you started. And so for Lynn's, it was restoring some of her previous drive and optimism, her motivation. And but of course, like maybe you've had years of intense pain. And let me share a little bit of my story on this. I had a wall that fell on me when I was 14, 15, and it really damaged my neck and my spine. And back then in the 50s when this happened, no, in the 60s when this happened, there wasn't that much you could do. And I knew that I didn't want to have anything to do with an operation, which is what was offered. And so I lived like a lot of people with major pain, and stiff neck, dizzy fits, because of the pain, anger management issues, just like all sorts of stuff. And when I was in my 40s, the yoga helped a little bit, and playing music helped a lot. But it wasn't until I came across the scanner work and started to study with the Russians in '03 that I became kind of proficient. Kind of. I say that underlined, kinda, because the Russian training is not the complete training by any stretch of the imagination. They are very, they get dramatic results, and that's kind of the norm with this technology. But it really is about, that repetition and getting results beyond. And if you have your own unit, this makes it into a daily practice that is, as Lynn says, that is every bit as valuable as all of the most important self-care strategies that we undertake, be it exercise, whatever it is. So, again, the importance of a repetition, completing with repetition. So, that leads to the success, and that leads to a lot of happy people, and, with that enthusiasm to keep moving forward. And going to this slide here, when it comes up, the life given to us by nature is short, but the memory of a life well spent is eternal. And that's what, we really all want, is to have the memories of a life well spent and to do good things in our lives, and for people, and for yourself, your family. And you're always striving to do that at one level or another. Even if your motivation levels are super low, you're always striving to spend your time well and to optimize your time. So let me just explain this a little bit more. So would you like to know how this microcurrent electricity can manage your pain even without meds, and literally solve the underlying causes of the pain? And eBodyFUSION is my website. Go to that, check it out, get that personal assessment in, and we'll talk about it from there. And then, so let's have a look at this. So one is the 7 healing secrets of electricity. I'm going to tell you the other 6 over the next 6 months in February, March, April. But the first is in pain reduction. I really want to share with you how that is accomplished. Now, when you looked at this device, because it really explains it more easily than trying to explain how you do it with this one. This device here, you lie on it, and you feel the tingles going up and down your spine from those center electrodes. So they're basically broadcasting into the spine at tiny little doses of electricity. And then it moves, ripples into the sets of electrodes that are adjacent to the spine, and then further out in this 25-minute sessions. So what is that doing? Basically, it's stimulating all of the spine and all of the nerves that come out of the spine, and those nerves then, of course, feed into many different organs: eyes, ears, larynx, hands, neck, up in the cervicals, and then in the thoracics, it's into the chest and the heart, and then down in the lumbars, it's into the liver and the intestines and the kidneys and the etc., and the spleen and etc., in there, into the abdominal organs. And then right below, all the way down in the coccyx, is into the pelvic organs, actually, excuse me, the kidneys in there, and the reproductive organs, and of course into the legs. So when you're lying on this device, that's how it works. It works by stimulating all of the nerves contained in the spinal column. And if you had, say, a break in here, you would get results too. I mean, if you were paralyzed, you get results too, being successful with that. And so with this type of technology, what we've got going is this type of technology. Sorry, what it's doing there is it's providing just enough electricity, this microcurrent electricity, to stimulate the nerves to get things going. And that's what's so really, really cool about this, is that with this device, we can do it just lying down, and we don't have to have somebody working on you, which is what you have to do with these ones. Although the pads and the pad set can be placed on the back, but it's not nearly so effective as this device. Now, I've only been working with this for I've been working with it for 2 and a bit months. Unbelievable results. Way, way, way better than this. So it works. Now, the pain reduction, let's talk about the pain reduction. Now, normally people think about pain reduction as being sort of an aesthetic sort of thing, but you know, when you stretch out, you've got a stiffness in your back, and you stretch out a little bit, sometimes you can stretch that pain out. And it's not that you've masked the pain, you've literally dealt with it. And electricity does a number of things. Well, let me say, microcurrent electricity, or microcurrent biofeedback, is what these units deliver. It does a number of different things. And so no longer do we have to, this is an old video of mine from YouTube, that's basically 208, 207, I think it was. And in order to get these sort of results, we either had to brush the body down, or have somebody, you know, stimulate the back, or use these pad sets, which came along later, which is not on the bottom right of the screen there. So over here, what I discovered at that time, which was a complete breakout from the classical Russian training. In fact, it negated a lot of that training. It made it a lot simpler. These devices, which then were available, they're manufactured by DENAS, and this company here, and we started getting absolutely magnificent results by brushing all of the skin. Now, as you probably know, or maybe not, when the embryo develops, the skin and the nervous system are really tied together. And of course, the skin is the largest organ in the body. So when you brush the whole of the body down, and I'm just demonstrating on my hand here, but if you watch the whole video up on YouTube, you'll see the whole thing. What you're doing is you're stimulating all of the nerves, you're treating the whole system. And so you're getting like this tremendous result, and a boost of energy and clarity and motivation to move forward. And so this is how it works. It literally is a device that stimulates the skin, and at certain frequencies we can numb out the pain, although that is not just what we're doing. Literally, we're rejuvenating the underlying causes of the pain. MRI proven, degenerative discs, you name it, whatever it is, hips, knees, elbows, shoulders, wherever it might be on you, we can literally rejuvenate that tissue. Time and time done. So forget about all of the indoctrination of those evil doctors and their medical licensure and the pharmaceutical bribes that they're all what is the word? All subjected to by these pharmaceutical companies. All these good-looking. I don't want to go into it. And so we're getting these results, and we've been getting these results forever. Now, in order to get these results, it has to be, and I don't really, don't expect, you may be able to get, results with your pain levels and stuff like that. But in order to get these results and this type of statistic, it has to be because you are motivated to do it. You're repeating the application in daily, weekly, and monthly cycles, and you're assessing how you got your roadmaps up there. You're taking data, and that leads to the success. And just like Kim did with building his golf course, not a simple task. I mean, you're talking about people. This is rock that we're working on. So it's not like on the mainland where you've got just dirt and you just shovel dirt around. And no, this is very, very different, very, very different way of getting things done. So, all of this stuff does get results, but only when you apply it. And that's basically the big thing. Most people, they get one of these devices, say this one, which I highly recommend. Everybody should have one of these. And it's this DENAS. It's quite inexpensive, especially for what it does. And if you get the family and friends kit, the professional, with all of these devices, the acupuncture probe that you can do detailed work with, the goggles that you can do eye stuff with, the Reflexo, which I call the Bigfoot, you put that on and you plug it in and it stimulates the feet. So it's going in for all of the reflexology points. This massage set with the comb here is good for hair and for animals. And this pad set you can put on your, these ones which have got this shape in it, they can be put on around your knees and joints, or this can be put on the back and strapped there. Now, when you got like major pain, so this is getting back to the pain reduction aspect of it, certain frequencies and the higher frequencies will reduce the pain. Absolutely. Now, what we want to do is actually cure the underlying causes of the pain. So that's what we do by further application at different frequencies. And all of this, when you get, for instance, this device, is a really cool 7-day training that I've got included in it. And if you look at, and if you go to that page, the DENAS page at eBodyFUSION.com, under the products devices, you can find out the training details. It's a 7-day training. It's a quick little training that you can get included, and it's like a little sample of what we do in the 3-month trainings, which I've detailed elsewhere on the other videos. Just go check them out, and or the other hangouts, monthly hangouts. So just go check them out, and that way, you know, the pain is resolved, and that's the beauty. It gets taken care of completely at a very, very deep level. And so when you got all of this happening now, I'm just going to take a little break here and just check something out, because I want to make sure that this page is running. And let's just check it here. Yeah, excuse me, I just got to do a little technical thing here. It should be running. I hope it is. Turn the volume down. And yeah, on that page, yeah, here we go. Good, it's working. So on that page, there's you can comment below and get information about, you know, and then I can answer those if you've got any questions. So you see the questions and comments below there. If you're on that page at the eBodyFUSION.com/hangout, and put in your comments below there, and I'll keep an eye on those before we close out. Now, let me just see. So, okay, the pain reduction. Now, the pain reduction is really interesting. Let me give you an example. Oh, I had a slide. It didn't make it in here. Oh, I thought I put it in last night. Too bad. Why didn't I quickly add it in there? It's so important, this one. It gives such a good example. Basically, new slide. Basically, what happened here is my friend Chris had 3rd-degree burns down his arm. There it is. And we worked on those. Look how gnarly that is. And yeah, I want to talk about it because it's a really good example of how I work and the results we can get. So look at that. There's Chris's arm. This is probably day 4. There's a video on YouTube of this whole recovery. It was a gasoline burn, and he had holes in his arms, as you can see. This is day 4 or 5, something like that. But by day 12, all of these scabs were off, and there was no scarring. Anybody heard of stem cells? Well, we got stem cell production, just the same as if you take a lot of juices, you get stem cell production too. So that's how those juices work as well. But with Chris's arm, what I did was I turned off all of this massive burn pain in his arm in, I think it was like 50 minutes. Unheard of. No drugs, no nothing. just with electrical stimulation. And then he slept that night. Unheard of. Most people are going in for scrubs and morphine. You know, it's just unheard of. And then he kept using it. I showed him what to do, and he kept using it over the next 12 days. And as I said, 12 days later, those wounds were completely healed. Now, this is a great example because what's happening on the outside of the body will also happen on damaged organs and tissues inside the body. So this is how it works, really, really quickly. And yeah, it was a traumatic day for all of us. We were at Chris's birthday party when this accident happened, when he was lighting a fire and he lit it with gasoline. He was in the Air Force. He knew better, and for whatever the reasons. But the fact is that with this type of pain, as any pain, now don't get confused with this. With this type of pain, we got the pain shut down so that Chris slept that night. He slept. Normally people would be in massive pain and would sleep poorly at best, right? And now if you take stuff like I've had because of my back situation, it's taken me a lot longer to get the results that have been in my body by that stage for 30, 40 years, right? So obviously it's going to take a lot longer, a lot more chronic. But it didn't take that long relative to the the results. You know, I can do back bends in my yoga now. I can't do the back drops, but you know, I'm getting much, much better, all of that stuff. And by keep on with this thing, repetition, right? That's the bottom line. It's like keep on doing it, and then you become the expert at applying all of this in your life and with your family and friends too, just like Julie was, where she said she's got this extended family that she's been working on. And so with Chris, you know, that was a game changer for us. This had never, to my knowledge, ever been discovered, this way that I used to turn the pain off. It certainly wasn't anything that was taught to us in any of the trainings that I have ever had. And it's because as a young kid, I had the ability to listen to stuff and to observe things and to create good results, mainly in systems, but they could be any system. One of my main fun things was like car racing, and I used to tune the cars and the suspension and the engines and everything. And I wasn't trained by anybody to do this. I intuitively knew how to listen to my guidance to get results. And this is what I've been doing all my life. I thought everybody could do it, and I think we all can, but most people are unaware of that they can do it. And so I've really trusted in this intuition all of my life long. You know, and as a wellness coach, you know, these factors up here are so important. You know, it's like you won't get results unless you combine all of these things. Well, you will get results, let me say that. But you're limiting the results if you don't combine good food and good exercise. You get results even if you have this crappy diet. But the chances of it long lasting is that you're going to have to repeat it more, because there's more for the electricity to be doing that's aside from, you know, whatever that pain is. And I can generically use pain. You know, so no matter if you've got shoulder pain, back pain, neck pain, you know, upper back pain, pinched nerves, bulging discs, degenerative discs, hips, wherever it might be, elbows, knees, you know, wherever, ankles, wherever it might be, you can apply this technology with very similar, if not better results than they were getting there, especially if you come into the training with me. Because it's in the training, what I can do is I can monitor you, you know, and keep you motivated and keep updating you on what would be your next strategy for the next week, so you can repeat it and learn new things. And during the cycles of the month or the cycles of the day, you can really keep going with this repetition and application and leading towards the success. And that's what we want, that's my goal, is to get you as fit as possible, as quickly as possible. Now, in order to do that long term, of course, that should be 2016. I haven't adjusted that yet. I have a coaching program. It's not inexpensive, but it's really for people who are, you know, exceptional achievers with probably a successful practice in their business, or, you know, corporate people, you know, that have got some, or actually, here's another thing, with people that really want to learn how to use this stuff really, really well. So in the coaching, what I do is we get in a little deeper into, you know, me holding you accountable for repetition, and holding you accountable for that, so that you get the results as quickly as possible. And so I have if you go to the tab up on eBodyFUSION.com, you'll be able to see it there, and connect in with and fill out the application form there too. But as you say, I've only got a few spots. I only have a few spots available for folks like that are coming into the training. Now, I don't want to run this more than another 15 minutes or so. So I just wanted to give you a little heads up on some of the stuff that we're going to be doing this year. One of the things that I'm going to be working on, which is more on this device, simply because it generates such extraordinary results, very, very quickly and very, very simply. And so go to eBodyFUSION.com and look for Vertebra, and it's under the devices tab. And this is actually that one here is the DENAS PCM. This is the high-end handheld unit. And you don't need that with this, unless you want to go professional. You don't need it. I would go with the DENAS, because this way you can use this device on your, you know, you can take it with you. Obviously, you can't take the Vertebra with you everywhere. And yeah, let's put that name, if I can. I'll put that name in there for you so that you can see it, how it's spelled. Vertebra. And let's make that bigger, if I can. Well, maybe I can just drag it. Yes. No. Okay, we need a bigger text size on that. So let's see, where do we go for that? Well, anyway, I can't seem to figure it out right now, and I don't want to waste your time. But the Vertebra is the name on it. So, you know, of these devices, this really makes it simple, because you can do it and then you just lie on these 25-minute programs. If you're a doctor or a chiropractor or a Reiki master or a massage therapist, etc., or an energy healer, this is unbelievable in terms of the results that we've been getting, including on myself. Now, I can, you know, Kim actually came over one day, and shortly after, well, one day when I first got it, and I said to Kim, hey, come on, jump over this. And he basically shoveled, I think he said, 12 tons of rock that day. And he got off that, and the next day he wasn't sore at all. Another friend came over for a couple of sessions, and you'll see this when you sign in. I've got some great videos. If you go into the Vertebra and then you have to sign in, I'm going to ask you for your email address. This stuff is so new. I really want to collect people that are really interested in this stuff. I just don't want to just be giving everything out for free on this. It's like such new technology. So, you know, get on board with this. So Brandon came over. He had major pain in his back for years. Every morning, stiff, and, you know, had to stretch, didn't really want to get going, etc. And he, after 2 sessions, he's been getting up every morning as though there had been nothing happening. And this is the power of electricity. Electricity is such a phenomenal substance when it comes to healing. People have no idea. It's been Frankenstein by Hollywood, and but the pain reduction properties of this and the restoring of the tissue is phenomenal. Just like with Chris's arm, this is such a great example, because, you know, these are nasty, 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 nasty scabs that are on there that are forming here. The worst pain that he said that he had was the itching, especially up in this area of the wrist where it bent onto that wound there. He said the worst, but he had no pain during the whole time. It was the itching stuff. You know how that gets. We never dressed it. We used the skin and the electricity to basically to sterilize and to create the pharmacopoeia about what's going on in there. And lo and behold, he got those results. Now, when you look at these results, this is what's going to happen if you've got any degenerative issues going on in your back too. You know, you'll be able to resolve those issues. So, you know, if you need more, and when you buy this from me, at the moment, I got a special on my training that comes with the Vertebra. It's a group study training where you'll come in and I have Facebook support and back office videos and training videos, etc., that I'm putting together with this. And so we're going to be getting some really dynamite. Well, I'll be able to report back to you in February how we're going on that. So that would be a really, really cool thing to listen up to for February when we get going there. Now I'm going to quickly go back to the page to see if there's any comments. Which page am I going to? This one? Maybe not. Oh, it's so difficult. Complicated. eBodyFUSION over here. Yeah, okay. Let's just refresh this and see if anybody's added in a comment below. There we go. What was the 200 setting? Art, I see you have a question down here, but I don't understand it. So, 200 setting. What was the 200 setting? I didn't mention anything about a 200 setting. So, confused. Let's see, anything else new there? No. Okay, cool. Good. Let's go back, and I'm just going to have to do some little housework here just before I get going here, guys. Excuse me for a moment. Okay, we've got a bunch of people listening in there. That's great. So, you know, basically bottom line is if you want to make 2016, and I know at some level you do, make 2016 the year to get really healthy, and that's my motto for this year. You know, jump on board. You know, create a dialogue with me. You know, let's get you going. Let's get you the results. Now, being a coach, you know, I'm not taking this as being a sales pitch to sell stuff that isn't backed up by my coaching experience. So, you know, a lot of people, they sell stuff and they kind of like know how it works, but really they have very few people. I'm an expert in this field internationally and have been giving people phenomenal results. I've had people that have come in, doctors who've trained with the Russians, and, you know, they come into my training and they go like, oh my God, Ben, suddenly this is all making sense. So, you know, let's make 2016 the year for you to get really healthy too. You know, I've got my own health issues that I'm addressing, and more of that in the back office stuff, more of that. I don't, you know, the stuff, I won't bore you with those details, but I'll be going through those and, you know, creating the metrics and doing the exercise and the green stuff, which I do anyway. And, you know, I'm really highly motivated. Actually, what was interesting, talking about motivation, this device gave me so much energy that my motivation and energy levels went up hugely. It's kind of refreshing because I was stuck in a place where my motivation and my energy levels were at a, you know, okay, but I knew there was more. And, you know, every time I go on this, it's been different. Like this morning, I was feeling a little depressed because I lost my cell phone yesterday, and I was poor me. And I got on this and I came out of it, and it was just like, oh, all of that stuff had gone. And every time I've come out of this, and this is the same for everybody, they get so chilled. We had a little party, New Year's Eve party. Actually, the day before New Year's Eve. I had a bunch of friends over here in the studio, and they were upstairs listening to the music. I've got this amazing studio here, the floor of which vibrates to the music. It's a cymatic floor. And they were playing in this, and then some people got onto the Vertebra and did the 20 minutes, and they came down. It's like, how did you do? Oh, I feel good. Well, yeah, what was happening? And this is typical. You know, you're kind of like spacey, but you're totally chilled. And what happens for me now is that, you know, my spine is kind of like, I know my spine is there, but the core strength is there. It's really, really firm. And so that's the difference it's really made. So no matter where you are in whatever level of health, we can quickly restore that. And that's a wonderful golden opportunity. But I tell you, it has to be in conjunction with good foods. And, you know, really getting you to understand the importance of good air, good water, good food, good exercise, you know, so that we can get you off this medical hamster wheel, right? And also take a look at the illusion of disease, because it really does encapsulates how this stuff has been indoctrinated over the generations. You know, I'm in my 60s now, and I can remember a totally different world than you guys, you know, the young kids know now. So I think that's enough slides. Yeah, there's my coaching application there. Let's get you going and get you out into the world and enjoying life. And I'm going to switch back to me just to close out. And here we go. So yeah, that's been a pleasure sharing this with you. As you can tell, it's my passion, and it's my passion this year to help a lot more people, because I'm a lot more solid in how I'm training this and the results we're getting. And so I really want to extend that invitation to you personally, to jump on board with me and to really, really get things going. And to you folks that are watching in or watching the replay, my website, of course, is eBodyFUSION.com, and looking forward to seeing you there. And if you're new to this technology, just go and fill out that assessment, and I can tell you exactly what type of equipment you're going to need and the training levels you're going to need and stuff like that too. So I'm just going to go quickly over to the other page and just check the comments quickly just before I, wrong page. And let's see if anybody else is, no, they haven't. Anybody else there? Questions. Hey, to see your question. Did you use the setting 7710 or higher? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, you haven't framed the context around where your question was. And I can't remember where I was 17 minutes ago. Yeah. So if you've got questions on future videos, just be very, very specific with me. And, you know, this is not a training how-to seminar. This is more of a, you know, tell you what we do. And so it's not a how to do it type of thing. But of course, you will pick up, you know, all of the little intricacies of, you know, what is kind of a simple process, but in reality it's not, because it literally is life-changing. And when you get those life changes happening in your body, everything shifts. So it's really, you know, really behoves you to have your goals in place and to really do the coaching stuff, even if it's not with me, but to really get a good support group so that you can get the results out of that too. So aloha, my name is Benedick Howard. A happy new year to you and all the best for 2016. And next month we'll be doing the 7 healing secrets, the second healing secret of electricities, and filling you in on that and other information with the Vertebra and some of those results that we'll be getting too, and all of that good stuff. So meantime, you have a great, great, great day. Aloha.